world. How are you tonight? I had a very productive day today, I feel like. Did some socializing. I'm glad I did because I've been in bed sick for since November 1st. So glad to be out and about and hanging out with friends. Speaking of hanging out with friends, so at this Halloween after party that Gene is the guy who runs the movie theater, and I do a lot of stuff for him, and he put the haunted house together and whatnot. He threw this little after party. It was great. There was free food, and he gave a little speech. I missed it because I was there late. I was late because I was shooting the music video, and honestly, I think the music video is going to be done in like two more days, 3 more days, and it's done. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. But the haunted house party was fun because I ran into my old friend Louie, and man, I miss that son of a gun. I don't get to hang out with him all the time. And the last time I saw him was like 4 or 5 months ago. So really happy to run into him. And Yeah, he's this old friend I have who does World War II reenactment stuff. He like dresses up in a Nazi uniform, and he's part of the bad guys, and he acts like he's getting shot and stuff out in the field. It's pretty hilarious. But they go full out with jeeps and tanks. They even had like a bomber once, and these P-52s that were like flying around. It was pretty sick. That was like, I want to say like almost like, gosh, like over 20 years, 20 years ago. He invited me out to one of these things, and I brought my camera and made my little, like one of my first short films that I did with this like nifty camera that I just had at that point. But yeah, it was really fun running into him. He's like one of my best friends, and I don't get to see him very often. So I actually had fun. Had fun tonight. Um, Went out, ate some burgers. It was free. Gene put out food for free for us, and he did pictures on the big screen. All the pictures he took from the haunted house. And I was a bit late, so I missed it. He actually gave like a little speech, and he mentioned me for like putting in all this hard work building the haunted house and being there just about every day. There was 2 days I missed because I got sick, and then I got sick right when we wrapped up the haunted house. I got sick right afterwards, like pretty bad. And since November 1st, I've been sick. But as you can tell, I'm doing a lot better, and I appreciate all those that have been like sending prayers and just wishing me to get better. I like that stuff. I like hearing that stuff. I really appreciate it. And they have mini golf. They have this like giant soccer pool table. It's a lot of fun. Axe throwing. Had a lot of fun doing that. I mean, he doesn't just have axes. He's got like ninja stars. He's got these like playing cards that are like metal and sharp, and you throw them kind of like Gambit. And I'm pretty good at it. Surprisingly, I do a really good job at throwing those ninja stars. Surprisingly, I'm pretty good at it. The axe is a little different. The axe was a hit or miss for me, but the ninja stars I got like every single time, and the little metallic cards I got every so often because they're a little bit harder to throw. But I had fun. It was good. I really needed it. I needed the time to be around people, be social, because man, I just been in bed and just getting like cabin fever in the house, just staying in bed day by day by day for like since November 1st. And then but before that party though, we worked on the music video, so that was pretty cool. We got a lot done this time around. The only thing that sucks though is that daylight is short. It's much shorter this time around, and so it's getting harder to film. And we decided on the spot, hey, why not just keep going into the night? So we did. So next time around, we got to film a little bit more, and I'm hoping in like after we get this next week, this big chunk done and out of the way, all I need to do for the music video is a scene at the lake and a scene at the office, and that's it. The music video is done. I mean, we've gotten so much footage, and the song is like 2 minutes, at the most. I think 2 minutes something maybe. So it's not a very long music video. I mean, music. I mean, most songs are about 2 minutes or so. So we got a lot of footage to play with, and it's so good too. It's some of the best stuff that I've done as far as like camera work and the fact that I get to play like the main character, and this is why I'm wearing the suit. It's part of the outfit that the main character wears. And we took out our prop, the rope prop we built for the main character, and we were walking. I was walking around with this rope tied around me. People were staring. They were like, "What was this?" We had a police officer stop by, and he's like, "What do we have going on here?" And we explained the video and what those items represented, like stuff just weighing us down, things we have to do, all the responsibilities that weigh us down. So it's he got a big laugh from it. And we just did our thing. We shot a lot of the video today. Next week, do another big chunk of the music video, and then just 2 more days of, like I said, filming at the lake and filming in an office, and that's it. That's a wrap on the video. I'm really excited. We've been putting in so much hard work into this music video. The production value on it is fantastic. The way it looks is fantastic. The song is fantastic. So this is going to be a good one for us, and just pretty excited to get it done before the year is up. And that's just one more great accomplishment to put under my belt this year. It wasn't one of my goals. It was like presented to me a couple months back, and so that's just one more thing to add, to the pile of getting something done. But it's very exciting because I haven't filmed anything in 2 years, and for a filmmaker, it's death. I mean, it's just death to like not be working with the camera, not working with actors, not working with material and script. I mean, it's like being in a desert and just being thirsty to do something. But I kept busy. I kept busy. I mean, last year, instead of like filmmaking stuff, I committed my life to like showing films at like a community short film screenings 3 times a month for a whole year. That felt really good. It felt like something I could dedicate myself to, keep myself busy. The discipline that comes from that, I loved it. Every setting up every time, taking their things down. It's just like it keeps me busy. It keeps me like going and being active and just like because when you do films, that's what you do. You set up, you tear down. You're shooting whatever. You schedule things out. So it's kind of similar kind of work. It's different, but very similar. And the fact that it got me working every month for the whole year is it was important to me because I don't like to hold still. I mean, I'm telling you, as a filmmaker, when you're not working on stuff, it's just pure death. So the fact that I could do that for a whole year really helped me stay in action. And then the other thing is this year, switching gears, I was able to do the big film festival, teach art classes. The most I had in students was 60 students. I published a book. We did the haunted house. I did the play. So I did a lot of different things this time. Instead of just sticking to one thing, I decided to do different things in paintings, so different things month to month to month to keep my creative juices going, but also to mix it up month to month. Instead of doing the same thing over and over and over, I decided that I'll try different things month to month. And reading books. I read 20 books this year, so that's something I'm proud of as well. And there's one more book I'm going to read in December. It's called The Guide to Going Viral. So I know there's some YouTubers who like to see what I do to get subscribers and things like that. This could be a good read if you want to read along with me and listen into the book. I'm going to do that in December. Um, so I hit a lot of goals this year that I wanted to hit, and the last goal I want to hit is 1,000 subscribers. I'm very close. I'm like 31 subscribers away from reaching that goal. So it's all on you guys too. So I appreciate you guys helping me out, building the channel. I came from a very like dark place, heartbroken, depressed from the beginning of the year, and really worked on myself to like get better and find like a good place mentally and in my heart, heal my heart. Did shadow work, read up a lot of things that felt like were missing in my life, So really good stuff. I feel like I did a good job educating myself, challenging myself as an actor to do the play, the haunted house, things like that. So staying active, and then now the music video to top it off. That wasn't even a goal I had, but it just like fell on my lap, and I couldn't say no to it. So I'm just really thankful, really thankful and appreciative of all the opportunities I had this year to get things done, and like I said, totally excited for this music video. Totally excited. It's like I said, some of my best work. Even though it's like a lot of it's kind of improv on the go. We just kind of think of the storyline as we were going and figuring things out, doing scouting locations and things like that. We were just kind of figuring out a storyline for the music. So, like I said, all we have now is like one more full day of filming downtown Tulsa, and then with that prop, some more scenes with the bad. We have this bad guy with a knife that we're shooting, and then there's a scene at the lake and a scene at the office. And so once I get that, I'll just knock that stuff out. Boom! I just got to edit it together, and then boom, we got a music video. So it's something that I always wanted to do. Because like I want to say like 10 years ago or so, I was in a band myself. So the fact that I could never really make a decent music video with my band was kind of eating me alive. It was just one of those things I always wanted to do and could never come around to it. Couldn't just the resources weren't there, the timing wasn't there. And the bandmates didn't necessarily want to shoot music videos. They just wanted to play all the time. And I don't blame them. It's we played like almost like every Saturday for 3 years at Sound Pony. That was like our home field. That's where we did our music, and we became really well known. We played at music festivals in Oklahoma City, here in Tulsa. We did like 3 music festivals that really bumped us up. And one of the biggest festivals we did was Center of Universe, and we actually ended up playing on the main stage right after Broncho. So that was one of our exciting moments as a band. But I'm actually hoping one of my goals next year is to possibly write my own song as Root Amps and do a music video for that song. So I'm getting inspired, because of all this music video stuff. Um, Last night, or I should say this morning, was it this morning? Oh yeah, I think it was this morning. I did a movie review on Doctor Sleep, and so you're welcome to watch that. It just got done processing and it's posted right now. So check that out if you want to find out more about that movie. And I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix right now. If you haven't seen it, it's the sequel to The Shining. Ah, superb movie, superb. I really enjoyed it. I was actually telling my friends at the party, you should come go check out that movie if you haven't. It's really good. Um, the next movie review I'm going to do is on 28 Years Later. I've already watched it a couple times, but I like to watch a movie over and over and over, especially if I like it, before I review it, because I really want to break it down. I really want to like really get to know the characters and just break it down from acts, like Act One, Act Two, Act Three, if it has more acts. Because sometimes I look into it, I watch it over and over, and I start to see things that I didn't see before, right? So I like doing that. So I think tomorrow evening I'm gonna go live and do a movie review on 28 Years Later, which is a terrifying movie, by the way. It's scary. It's really scary. They did a good job of like getting you to the edge of your seat, like just terrified. It's very scary, and it's a good movie. It's well done, really well done. Um, but yeah, overall, it was a good day today. Overall, it was no complaints. I felt really productive. I got to socialize, and kind of get out of this like cabin fever I'm in, just because like I said, I've been sick since November 1st, and man, it knocked me on my ass. It really did. It knocked me on my ass, and I just zero energy, zero like just couldn't get out of bed. It was that bad. Nasty cough. Had a really nasty cough. But much better now. Much better. I hope everyone's having a great evening. Comment below if you want to start a little conversation. If you want to say hello, that'd be really cool. Um, but yeah, yeah, just kind of reflecting on the day today, and it was a good day. It was a good day. I feel like I'm getting back to my health, feeling much better, and it's always kind of sucky when like you're just, I don't know, you don't have the energy like to do the things you want to do and the things you need to do. So, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to get back to myself, back to my health. I feel like I'm almost there. I'm almost to like 100%. Um, what do I got going on tomorrow? I guess tomorrow I'm gonna do the movie review in the evening. Other than that, I don't think I have a lot going on. I gotta buy a memory card for the camera because I run out of uh, all the filming we've been doing for the music video. It's all that I got one card already pretty much filled up, so I gotta do that tomorrow. I gotta go buy a memory card. Um, and what else? Oh, I'm gonna start a new painting. So eventually, here in a few days, in a couple of days or day two, I'm gonna start a new painting. It's Tim Meadows. I don't know if you guys know who Tim Meadows is, but Tim Meadows was on SNL and he played the ladies' man. He's that black actor. He's got this really funny way of how he is. He's got this just funny personality. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna paint him. I'm gonna paint him as the ladies' man, and he's gonna be in town at the Brick House Comedy Club, the Tulsa Bricktown Comedy Club. Here like November 22nd. So I have a bit of time. I have a bit of time. I like to start early on these paintings. It gives me time to like, fix things. I don't like, if I rush to the painting, if I only have a day to do it, I feel like I rush through it, and it's not as good. So I want to do a really good job on this one. And I started doing this thing with the paintings, like they're really large paintings, and so I take these large paintings to the comedy club, and the guy who owns it and runs it, he actually knows me. He knows me as the painter, right? Because I've been doing this for like 2 years. I feel like on and off. So they know me already, and it's really great because they allow me in. They treat me like VIP. They give me a free table, like right up front stage, so I get to watch the whole comedy bit. And then after the comedy bit, I get to actually go back to the VIP room and actually hang out with these guys and take a picture with them, and then they sign it. It's like a whole thing, and I really appreciate how much how well they treat me. I just really appreciate that. And the fact that they're willing to just roll out the red carpet for me. Like I said, I've been doing this for 2 years with them, and they like it. They like the fact that I do these paintings. I think it's a very unique experience for like these actors and comedians that come in because that doesn't really happen every day for them, when they're on tour. So it's a very unique experience to have a painting of them and then they sign it. And I'll actually go out of my way if I have time to do a smaller version of the same painting for them to actually take home with them. So that way they don't feel empty-handed. So I do like a little miniature painting. So Tim Meadows, I'm looking forward to it, man. He's a pretty funny guy. Used to watch him back in the day on SNL. The Ladies Man is like the most iconic character I can think of that he played. So I'm excited to meet him. I'm excited to do the painting and all that. So I'm looking forward to that. My birthday's coming up in like 2 days. 2 days now? Yeah, 2 days. So my birthday's coming up in 2 days. I don't really do anything special usually on my birthday. I like to get a tres leches cake and just eat it on my own. I never do anything special. I really don't. I've never was that kind of person to like do something special, and I need I don't really need the attention. I don't know. I don't. But as a call it a habit or tradition, I just get a tres leches, like a little cake, tres leches, little tiny cake, and I just kind of eat it by myself. Not that it's like a depressing thing, but I guess I'm more of a quiet person. I much prefer like just being in my own space. I don't necessarily need the applause and the happy birthday and people singing. I don't need presents. You know what I mean? I just it's almost like another day, but for some reason I just made a tradition to get a tres leches cake and just you know eat it. It's like the one day I allow myself to eat cake because I usually I don't eat a lot of junk food. You know, I don't eat a lot of cookies and muffins and baked goods. I really don't. So this is like the one time that I really allow myself to go out full out. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for the tres leches. No complaints right here. I'll be turning 39 years old. The big 39. And then hour after that, I'll be turning 40. The big 40. I cannot believe that I'm like a year away from turning 40. That's just crazy to me. When I think about it when I was a kid and I think about my dad being 40, he was like a real adult. I'm so different from my dad. He was very, you have your job, your 9 to 5 job, he had kids and a family, the house and all that stuff. I'm the complete opposite. I'm a black sheep. I don't have a family, I don't have a wife, I don't have kids. I do a lot of creative stuff, and I don't have a 9 to 5 job. I freelance a lot. I do a lot of freelance stuff, all in the creative stuff. So, but one of my goals I've been thinking this year, since I've been doing a lot of creative stuff and devoting my time to that, I thought about a good goal to have next year is to actually get a solid job. Now that I'm like getting close to 40, I think it's probably a good idea to find something solid. If not to support a family, but I like to give back to my parents. I like to give back to them, maybe help pay rent. Not rent, but like uh, some of the bills around here. I want to help out and I want to save up. I want to save up money so that I can do more projects. I want to invest any money that I can make and save. I want to invest back into like the film festival that I do. Any book that I publish that I can advertise. Any music video that I could potentially make, or any new song that I write. It just makes it easier when you have the money. And one big thing that I'm going to be planning next year is there's a movie my friend wrote called Hang Time. It's a whole feature film, and I've just had the itch to film something. Like I want to shoot another feature. Like it's been too long. So having new gear is awesome. I want to invest in getting like proper microphones, proper gear, things that is going to make the movie really stand out in a very professional way. And having the money and the tools has always been hard for me because I don't come necessarily from a place of money. My family isn't like super rich. We just have the necessities, and that's about it. There's not extra to go around. So I've been very fortunate that I've been able to like collaborate with people, bring people together that have gear, and that was always my whole spiel. Like I wanted, instead of investing in gear, I invested in like studying screenwriting, studying acting, studying production, things like that. And I even worked on productions, to get more experience. For those who don't know, I've worked in film production for like serious film production for like 5 6 years, from TV shows to movies, indie films, like some of the smaller budget indie films, to like to some of the most expensive Hollywood movies you can think of, with starring well-known famous people. So I got to get a feeling for like both worlds, the big Hollywood productions and that take like a whole year, and then like the smaller indie productions that could take like 3 to 6 months. So I got a taste of both worlds, and now I just want to, everything that I've done, everything that I've been studying, everything that I've been honing in this year, really pushing myself in different ways and in more diverse ways. I want to apply all that to a film eventually. And so this movie's called Hang Time. Krishna, what's up? I'm just fiddling with my tie. we shot some music video footage, and I'm in it. So this is the outfit I wear in the music video. And then I went to a party afterwards. It was the haunted house after party. Had a good time. I mean, it felt like a good day today. I'm not feeling that sick anymore. I did something productive. Like I was able to socialize. I got to see one of my best friends that I haven't seen in a long time. So it was a good day. It was a really good day. So no complaints here. No complaints. I'm really thinking about this feature film, the next feature film I'm gonna do. It was written by my buddy, who's actually an amazing screenwriter. He's one of those. I'm pretty decent myself, but he's one of those like he's got his own style and taste and like the way he writes is like his way of writing. He really like committed a lot of time. I've committed a lot of time to screenwriting, but I appreciate it. Appreciate it. But we both spent a lot of time studying screenwriting and writing screenplays and doing and reading screenplays, and we've gotten to the point when we read screenplays, we do it in a movie theater and we read it off the big screen. We get actors to read all the parts, and it's like an event essentially. Hell yeah, my friend. Good to know that you're getting in some practice for your what you want to do for your dream. That's what it's all about. It takes time. You got to devote time to what you want to do. And sometimes when you can't do what you want to do, like I said, I haven't been able to film anything, for 2 years. So sometimes it takes a while. But if you have the faith, if you keep going, you stay positive, no matter what happens, no matter how many roadblocks you come across, no matter what people say about you, no matter if like people spread rumors about you to try to destroy you, which was the case for me. I still pushed. I still kept pushing. I found ways to express my creativity through different ways, and it did suck because I didn't want to stop filming. You always want to keep going, but I'll tell you the truth. Taking a break was actually a good thing. I got to do other things, really expand different areas of me, different things that I like, different passions. I was able to just push push the different parts of me that I haven't been really investing in. And so I'm glad I did it all. I'm really there's no regrets. No regrets last year, no regrets this year. And I can't believe this year is like coming to an end. I mean, we're getting closer and closer, and it's just like I'm already thinking about my next goals for next year. I'm thinking about publishing a second book. I'm thinking about another music video. I'm thinking about actually one of my biggest goals, like I said, was to get a real job and like actually have it for the whole year so I can save up money. So that's going to be a major goal to change gears like that again and like a job for me. I think I've always had like a poor attitude about it because like I've always felt like it was just sucking my soul dry. But if I can find a way to be creative at my job, and still use different aspects of my brain, different aspects of myself that I haven't been using, then good, good. I want to do whatever the next challenge is going to be. Krishna says, I control when my bad habit and then two bad habits has been left, I will be working on it. So Krishna is from India, if you don't know. Sometimes his English is a little he's working on it. Let's just say that. But you're pretty good though. I gotta say, you're pretty good. You're pretty good at English, Krishna. Um, but I had a few bad habits myself. I was a big, 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 big marijuana smoker. I quit this year, so I'm actually proud of myself for quitting. I mean, when I say big marijuana smoker. I mean, like I smoked every day. Um, like like the strongest amount you can buy on the market at a dispensary. The like what I'm saying, I was spending like $500 a month on marijuana alone, and so I'm actually glad I cut that habit out, and I don't miss it. I really don't. I was really ready to quit. I mean, I started to not like it anymore. I didn't like how it made me feel. I like feeling normal. like more than being high. So I just slowly, and sometimes I don't know, I feel like I'm a bit of a broken soul. Like I've been through a lot, and a lot of heartaches, a lot of like setbacks in my life, a lot of health issues. And I gotta say, I think the marijuana thing was just part of my journey. It was part of my journey to like just heal myself. And even if it took like, you know, 20 years of smoking marijuana to like heal myself, that's okay. That's okay. That's just part of my journey. And the fact that I just naturally came to the conclusion of just like, you know what, I'm just done because I just don't like how this feels. I don't like how this feels anymore. I actually like normal life. I like reality better than feeling high. I don't like feeling high anymore. So I've totally completely quit. I don't smoke anymore. I'm really proud of myself that I was able to kick that habit. I do smoke nicotine vapes, not as much as I smoke marijuana, and I don't smoke that much nicotine. There was actually a few months I went without smoking anything. I don't drink. I don't drink alcohol. I don't think I've had a drop of alcohol this year, not like one bit. Um, so I'm proud of myself for that too. I don't drink. I don't smoke marijuana. So I just feel good about that. Those are two, and I wasn't a big drinker anyways. It was like once in a blue moon when I was being social. It wasn't like I needed to go drink. I needed to go get drunk. It was never about, I never got drunk. It was like I had a beer, it was nice, it was pleasant, and that's about it. But now I just don't drink at all. I don't drink at all. I don't smoke the marijuana stuff. So and it's, I mean, be honest, I save so much money. There's so much money being saved for the fact that I don't do those things anymore, and that it's not a crutch I need to rely on. And I used to really rely on it to do like the creative stuff and like to keep my energy at a certain place where like I needed it to be to keep going every day, and then just one day I didn't need it anymore. Just like that. It was just like that. It was just like a, okay, I'm done with this because I don't like how it feels. So I don't know. I've actually heard a lot of adults say that when I was younger. I asked them like, "Why'd you quit?" And they were just like, I don't know. I just quit one day because I didn't like it anymore." And surprisingly, it happened to me. I just quit because it was just one day. It wasn't like I struggled to quit, like I needed, like I had like a craving and it was like a struggle. No, I just one day quit, just straight up quit. I was like, I took one puff and I was like, man, you know what? I don't like how this feels anymore. I just don't like it. I like feeling normal. I like having my normal headspace, like being in reality. Like I don't need the extraness to get by anymore. So, what does Krishna say? Krishna says, scary, and I also learned other language like Russian. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Russian's really interesting. It's so different. Spanish is like much easier. You know, French is like a little, it's a little different, but still a little easier. But Russian, you're getting to some territory that's like strange. And then Chinese or like Japanese, that's just like what the heck. But all beautiful languages, though. I'm not criticizing them, but to me, it's like anything Latin based like makes sense. Anything outside of that is like what? Like this is not clicking whatsoever. Very interesting stuff. Krishna says, I have bad habits: Uber, watching phone, and drinking regular cold drink. Well, I don't know that, watching your phone is necessary. I mean, watching your phone is the equivalent of like watching a lot of TV. When I was a kid, I think I watched like 6 hours of TV a day. But it was mostly movies and things like that because I love movies. I absolutely love movies. I mean, it's the thing I wanted to make ever since I was a kid. I wanted to be a film director and get involved in all that and, write scripts and be an actor, like do it all. Like Charlie Chaplin. Like Charlie Chaplin was like my biggest hero as a kid. I wanted to be just like him. I wanted to grow up and do the things that he did. He would write, he would produce, he would act, and there was this like level of mastery that goes along with that as a creative, as an artist. And I just really like that. I was always an artist. I was always an artist. I always had like something unique about me when it came to art that separated myself from other people. A lot of people said like all the time, you're such a gifted person. When it comes to other stuff, I'm like pretty normal. When it came to the arts, I was always like I always had something special, you know, and I've always just kind of ran with it. And to this day, I still do the creative stuff. Like you cannot separate me from creative stuff. I have to do it. Like my soul cannot live without doing anything creative. Like I just have to do it the way I breathe air every day. I just have to do it. It's crazy, you know. And anytime I'm not doing it, it just feels like I'm wasting my life, you know. I'm wasting my gifts, I'm wasting my talents, you know. It's just what it feels like to me. And I've actually been always like kind of jealous of people who didn't have that problem where they could just go do a job 9 to 5 and you know and do that, and they had no hunger, no inclination to go after to do something creative. They didn't have a calling, you know, and I have that calling every single day. Every single day of my life, I've had that calling to do creative stuff. My soul begs for it. It burns for it, you know. And a lot of people look at me strange, you know. It's like you when you're the black sheep and you're pouring in your life to all these arts and all these different things, people look at you funny. You know, it's like, why do you waste your time with that? Like, why are you wasting your time? That's what they say. Why are you wasting your time? And it's like, well, I mean, that's your opinion. You know, what does your soul tell you to do? Well, my soul tells me to do these things, you know, and if I'm not doing it, I feel like crap. You know, I just feel like complete crap. I feel like I'm not doing the things I'm supposed to be doing, you know? So, you know, try to take me away from doing creative stuff. Try, because you're not going to be successful. It's just not happening. Like I have to do it the way I just breathe, you know. But overall, I'm just excited, you know. Um, I feel like every time I do something that's like, you know, just it's not do something every now out of the blue. It's like I've been very consistent month to month to month, you know, and it takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of discipline to do that. But you're gonna head out, Krishna. You're gonna head out. No worries. You can go to. You can go. Are you? What time? What time is it in India right now? It's gotta be like day, right? Like daytime. But I'll see you around, Krishna. No worries. If you want to head out, no worries. I don't really have much people watching right now, so I don't know. Sometimes I get lucky and get a lot of people. Some days I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I still don't understand YouTube that much. But I have that goal. I have that goal of 11:55 over there. Huh. Interesting. I have that goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers, and I'm only 31 away. 31 away from hitting 1,000. I just need 31 more subscribers, and I hit my 1,000 subscriber goal for the year that I gave myself. You know, and I only have 2 months left, less than 2 months to get it done. And I've been telling folks, you know, once I hit that 1,000 mark of subscribers, I'm going to release the movie I've worked on for 15 years. It's called Stray Kids. It's taken me 15 years. It's an indie flick. I produced it. I wrote it. I acted in it. You know, I did some of the filming. I did all the editing. You know, and so much editing. Dear God. So this is like, you know, another thing I just had to do. Like my soul was begging me to do this, you know, and I just couldn't go a day without doing this, you know. Even if it took me 15 years, it doesn't matter, you know. It was the process. It was the process of doing it from beginning to end, pushing myself to such extreme limits that I've never pushed myself before, you know, and I just had to do it. Just had to do it. You'll give me 5 more? Man, I would love 5 more extra ones. The 31 though, I'm just 31 away. I'm so close, Krishna. I'm so close. I can't believe how close I am. A lot of people said I couldn't do it. A lot of people said I would not be able to get the 1,000 subscribers, and I'm only 31 away. There's a guy, a friend of mine. I don't know if I call him a friend, more like an acquaintance. And he's got a podcast, and he's got like 2,000, like 500 subscribers. And he said I would fail. He said that YouTube would eat me alive. That's what he said. And I was really like, really, really, you're gonna say that to me? You're gonna say that to me? Like, excuse me? You're saying that to me? I don't think so. I don't think so. But I'll never forget what he said. He said that YouTube would eat me alive. All right, no worries. You go, man. You go. You go and do your thing. You go do your thing, my friend. I'll catch up with you later. Tomorrow I'll do like another live in the morning, and then I'll do a movie review at night in the evening. I got a little switched up because I had the music video and the party to think about and things like that. So I got a little bit switched up tonight. But yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it a regular thing to do like just a regular live chat morning thing, and then in the evenings do like the movie reviews. So that's kind of my goal for the rest of the year as far as YouTube goes. Then I'm going to release the music video, hopefully by the end of December or possibly the first of the month next year, January. I'll probably release the music video. We'll see how it goes. But I mean, yeah, no complaints really. No complaints. I was talking about how I was interested in like trying to meet somebody new at the party, but honestly, it was never. I don't know. I didn't. I. It was. It was like if it happened, it happened. If it doesn't, well, I'm not gonna put in a whole lot of effort into it, to be honest. So I just took it easy tonight. At the party, I just was like laid back. Said hello to everybody that was there at the haunted house. A lot of people respect me, there because of all the work that I did and how committed I was to the role. So I like that. I like that people can respect me for what I did and how I committed to the haunted house. Um, and like I said, I ran into my good friend. I ran into one of my best friends that I haven't seen in a long while. So that made my night. Like just hanging out with a good friend that you've known for years. Oh man, such a good time. Man, just good vibes. Good vibes. And I guess I really needed that. I really needed to be around like my friends and whatnot. Because it's been a week of almost 2 weeks of just being sick, and I'm sick, and I'm just sick and tired of being sick. But yeah. So just here, I'm probably gonna wrap up here in a bit, unless anybody wants to comment below, say hello. Always welcoming new people to the channel if they want to comment below and just talk about different things. I'm here to talk about different things. This is what I do. I randomly go live and nothing's scripted, nothing's prepared. Sometimes I do reflections, sometimes it's just random topics that I just randomly go into. So if no one has anything to say, anything to comment, I guess I'll just wrap it up. I'll wrap it up here. Because I'm just out of words right now, and I think I'm ready for bed. I'm ready to go to bed, ready to eat some dinner, actually, and just take it easy for the rest of the night, get some good sleep. I want to get like a solid 8 hours of sleep. I've been doing a good job, actually, of getting like 8 hours of sleep every night, so it feels good, because for the longest time, I was literally getting 3 hours of sleep, 4 hours of sleep. Like, that's nothing. That's like unhealthy. That's like really bad for you. It says like if you keep doing that, it literally shaves like years off your genetics. Like it just cuts your life down more. So, what's up, Krishna? Krishna's back home. But yeah, I'm happy I'm back in a good sleeping schedule. Like actually getting 8 hours. So important, so important. I've been getting these gray hairs, and I'm just like, where are these gray hairs coming from? And I think it's the lack of sleep I've had this year. Like I've been getting such bad sleep. Such bad sleep. So that's become really important to me to like get a full 8 hours of sleep. It's just the healthy thing to do. And so if I wake up and it's only been 6 hours, I'm like, all right, go back to sleep for another 2 hours. Like I force myself to go back to bed and like If I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, go back to sleep. Like, there's no reason to be up. Like, you're gonna cause damage to your genetics. Like, you're not letting your body rest. You're not letting your body do its thing. And you gotta let your body do its thing. And now that I'm like here in a few days, I'm turning 39. Like, I'm thinking about my body more and more and more, like my health. So I'm glad I don't drink anymore. I'm glad I don't smoke marijuana anymore. I'm glad that I work out. I'm glad that I eat healthy. I haven't been eating that healthy lately. I've been eating a lot of like ice cream and like a lot of chocolate, hot chocolates. So I'm definitely cutting back on that. I'm gonna get back to drinking teas, eating more fruits, eating more vegetables, that kind of thing. Eating lean meats. Although fatty meat isn't such a bad thing every once in a while, but like eating fish, like salmon, for example, taking in my minerals and vitamins that I need to take. Cause I'm an old man. I'm an old fucker now. I'm an old fucker. In 2 days I'll be 39, and in 1 year I'll be 40. I'm an old fucker. I'm an adult. I'm an actual adult now. you know, I'm like adult. Like I'm there. So that's scary to me. Because I don't feel like an old fucker. I don't feel like an adult who should be working a 9 to 5 job. You know what I'm saying? Like I still feel young. I do feel like my health has taken a bit of a toll with like being sick, like basically like for like 2 weeks in October and like 2 weeks in November. Like I don't know where this being sick comes from. Like I'm never sick. So the fact that I've been kind of sick is like kind of like what the hell's going on there? I'm never sick. So I don't understand it. Um, but I don't know. I think I don't know. I just gotta be more careful these days with that thing. I just gotta make sure I do my vitamin C, my vitamin D. I gotta make sure I do extra like minerals and things for myself because it seems like my body's been having a hard time absorbing minerals or something. I don't know. Drink more water. I gotta drink more water. For example, I gotta drink more water. Definitely drink more water. So, you know, I just got to remind myself. I got to remind myself. Drink more water. Drink more water. So, all right, folks. I am going to leave it at that. Like I said before, I hope everybody has a good night. I hope everybody had a great day. I hope you had a productive day. I hope you had a great time socializing. Every day is a gift. You never know when it's your time to go to heaven or hell. Well, I guess however kind of person you are. You just never know when it's your time. So I say that like carefully because I don't want to jinx myself. But it's true. You never know when it's your time to go. So I'd hate to die this young. Like nobody wants to die young. So I'm not wanting to do that at all. Not my goal. I still want to be around for at least another 30 years if I'm lucky. Yeah, a good solid 30 years would be good. I can try to do more creative stuff and try to see where I head with that stuff and see if I can make any more headway. Yeah, a good solid 30 years would be nice. I think at that point I'd be like, what? Let me do some. I'll be like 70 years old. Maybe I don't know. Where my grandpa is, he's turning 100 next year, and I had a grandpa pass away when he was like in his 80s. So, and I think about my parents all the time. They're much older. My dad is nearing 80, and that's scary. That's a scary thing. 80 years old. Like, oh my gosh, and he's got Parkinson's. So he's hanging in there. He's hanging in there. It's a struggle. I don't like seeing him suffering the way he does. Like every single day he is suffering, and it's just breaking my heart. It's just breaking my heart every day. It just because it gets worse and worse and worse. And it's just like there's nothing. We take him to doctors all the time. We try to find him the medications that help him. He takes so many pills a day. It's just ridiculous how many pills he takes a day, and it's just breaking my heart to pieces watching them wither away like this. It is, and he's a fighter. He's a fighter. There's been times where he's like, I don't, and I'm being honest. There's times he's like, I don't want to live anymore. And when he says stuff like that, it just kills me. It fucking kills me. It just fucking kills me. And it's just another extra thing that you just handle it. You just gotta handle it. And I try to be there for him as much as I can. Sometimes it's a little overwhelming. Um, you know, and you just deal with it. You just deal with it. And all I can do is I pray to God more often. I pray for his health. I pray for like good days for him to have. I'm always praying for like my family. I'm always praying that we're in good hands. I'm always praying that we have a roof over our heads and have enough to fill our plates, and just all that stuff. I find myself praying more and more every day, and just being thankful for the life I've had, being thankful that I'm alive, because there have been times where I should be dead. I was, even at a year old, I like fell from like a second story balcony and cracked my head open. I could have been dead at a year old. And so I thank God that I'm alive and got to experience this life. Even all the good times and even all the bad times. I had a lot of bad times, but it's truly through the suffering that we mature, we learn. And if we're able to get through that suffering, we're able to get through that heartache, we're able to get through that depression, you find that you're just a tougher guy, you're a tougher gal or guy, whoever you are, and you just feel like there's these moments that life will test you, and you either fall apart or you grow, you evolve and you grow and you mature. And so this whole thing that I've been going through these last 2 years has been a real test. It's been a real test of like not quitting. And so it's been a real test. I'm happy that I feel like I've been getting through all these like tests and just getting through them. I live like month to month. Billy Boy says, I think my mom might have Parkinson's. Man, it is. It's tough, man. It's tough. My dad is, he's lost a lot of weight. His mind is not as sound as it used to be. But the fact that he tries, the fact that he's like trying to do stuff and like actually be creative with it. He like this month he built a speaker using like an old speaker from a busted like amp, and he used a cardboard box, and he was able to like build this speaker and connect it to the radio, and he made a little tweaker thing too. He added that, and I was like, wow, like this is amazing. The fact that he can still like get around to being creative. Yeah, my dad is he's in like mid 70s, I think. Like he's around mid 70s. Um, my mom is in her 60s, and she has a bit of a weight problem. That scares me because I don't know, like you see people who are overweight and older, and they have like a lot of issues. And I know my mom has some issues, and we try to eat healthy. I try to remind them every day to eat healthy, to just do all the things. So your dad is literally 6 years older than I am, Krishna. Isn't that crazy? So your dad is 6 years older than I am. We're almost like the same age, dude. That's crazy, Krishna. I'm telling you, man, I'm getting old. And he's lucky. He's lucky he had children. He's very lucky to have you, man. Because I wish I had kids, and I wish I had a wife and like a significant other, and I don't. And it's kind of a bummer. But I don't let that get me down. I just thank God every day for what I do have. And it's okay. It's okay if I never meet that special someone. It's okay if I never have kids. It's fine. I guess it wasn't It wasn't in my cards, you know. You're dealt some cards and you play them. You play them to your best ability, you know, and that's that. That's that. You make the best of what you got, you know, or else you're gonna live miserably. And like, you get one life. Do you really want to waste your time living miserably, or do you want to just decide, hey, it's okay. I am me. I'm special in my own way, you know, and that works for me, you know. Krishna says, if I can find a girl for you, this is my wish list to do. Well, thank you, Krishna. Thank you. I don't know, man. It's okay. You know, when I was younger, I did my best, and you know, I don't know. It didn't work out. Like, every girl that I dated just didn't work out. You know, it just seems like girls are not into the whole traditional thing. You know, and it was kind of a bummer. You know, girls were just they just wanted to have fun. You know, no one wanted to get serious. I couldn't find anybody that wanted to get serious, and I've been wanting to get serious since like I was 20. You know, and that's a big like 20 years that went by, and I couldn't find anyone. You know, and I came close. I came close. Like a few times. You know, I came close. There's somebody that I've known for like 5 years that just recently I asked her, I was like, "Do you want to be more than friends?" She said no. And I was seriously heartbroken. You know, I was like, man, like I cannot believe it. Like, after knowing you for 5 years, like you don't want to take this friendship to another level. Like, man, like you're fucking killing me. So we just left it at that. I haven't spoken to her since, because it's like a huge bummer. You know, it's a huge bummer to be like, hey, you want to take this to the next level, and they're like, no, no, thank you. You're like, fuck. You know. So what do I do? You know, I walked away. I walked away from that situation, and now I'm just kind of freeing myself up again. You know, I'm freeing myself up to see if I can meet somebody new. But I just, at this point, I just don't know if I will. You know, I'm getting older, and I just don't know. You know. Krishna says, I have a female friend, but she left me. Yeah, they tend to do that, don't they? They tend to leave you. They tend to leave you either, you know, because they want to be alone, or because they don't want it, or because they met somebody else, or because they have a crush on somebody else, or there's just, you know, it is what it is. Billy Boy says, I feel similar to you. Yeah, I feel like it's becoming more common these days to for guys to not have anyone. You know, it's just becoming, like, sadly enough, it's becoming more common. Um, Girls are they mess that up, and they like get older and they miss their opportunity to have a real relationship, you know. And then now it's like, well, what do I do? Do I look for a younger woman who wants to like take it seriously? Like, at that point it's like, what does that mean? Like a 10-year difference, a 20-year difference? Like, is that okay? Like, it's getting to a point where it's going to get ridiculous. It's okay. Yeah, man. Just it's yeah. It's just a lot of us don't have kids anymore. You know, there's like a very few special select that like really have like the top jobs that like get the woman and have the kids. You know what I'm saying? And I never had that top job. I never had the opportunity to be like a solid provider, unfortunately. And I had jobs, you know, and I had like my own space, my own cars and stuff that I paid for and all this stuff. And you know, at that time I was so stressed out doing all this to see if I could find a woman, and I couldn't even find a woman then when I had a good job, you know. And it's just like what the hell, you know. I mean, I had like some girlfriends and stuff, but it didn't like it didn't it didn't add up to anything. And that's what's so disappointing at the end of the day. It's just so, you know, it's just disappointing. It didn't add up to anything, and it just feels like a waste, you know. And you know, well, you can't, you know, you're not gonna cry over spilt milk, you know. Yeah, don't. There's nothing to cry about, man. That's just kind of what life is, you know. You just gotta enjoy it. You can't let shit like that bum you out. I'm talking this because it's reality. I'm talking about reality and what's real and what happened to me, but it's not gonna keep me down. I'm not sad over it. It's not gonna, I'm not gonna go cry after I get off this YouTube live. Like like I said, I still feel young. I have my life, I have my health, and I had three cancers. I've survived three cancers, and that's a battle in itself. That's a pretty big deal in itself. That I was able to get through these things. And my first one I got at 13 years old. The second one I got in my 20s, and the third one I got in my 30s. And I'm just like, well, now that I'm going to be turning 40, am I going to get another one? Let's hope not, people, because that would suck. So that's why I try to do the healthy thing. Uh, Krishna says, yeah, I know my future about family. Billy Boy says, I try not to dwell on my singleness. I still just get on with my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm hoping to meet somebody new, or yeah, at this point, like I said, I'm gonna try again for. I don't know if you tuned in earlier, but I'm gonna try. My next goal for next year is to get like a really solid job next year and just really hone in and save up. And if I end up coming across with somebody special, great. Great. Let's see if it happens. But if not, if it's another year that goes by and I don't meet anybody new and then just nothing happens, I guess that's that. I don't know what to say about that. Billy Boy says, I've had long times of singleness, not of my adult life, most of my adult life. Yeah, I want to say so too, the same. Um, I've had girlfriends. I've had female friends, I've had girlfriends, but my thing is, it never accumulated to being something like serious, where it's like family, where it's like your wife or something, and I don't know. I mean, I'm thankful for every relationship I've been in. They were each different in their own way. Those failure or those lessons I learned in life really make me the man I am today. And that's the way I look at it. They all left me for somebody else. And so I was when that first happened, when I had like my first girlfriend leave me for somebody else, I was angry. I was really angry and I wanted revenge. And the second time I was less angry. The third time I was less angry. The fourth time I didn't even fucking care. The fifth time I was like, all right, goodbye. The sixth time I was like, whatever. So I don't know. There's definitely a maturity that comes from like all the relationship failures I had, and I can think about them. I can think of all of them. I think about them time to time, how this person did me wrong, it was unfair. I didn't deserve that, but I didn't handle it well, and then the second time it was like with a different person. It was like a whole different situation, and a different part of my life. And when she ended up going for somebody else, I mean, I've been heartbroken so many times. I've gone to the point where, like I said recently, this girl that I've known for 5 years, I asked her recently, like literally like a week ago, not even a week ago, like 4 or 5 days ago, I was like, can you want to be more than just friends? And she just straight up said no. And, this is like my best friend, and it's because you know, she's wanting to see somebody else, and you can't blame women for whatever it is they're attracted to, whatever their needs they need to be met. You can't blame them for that. They're human beings. They're not going to go with somebody that doesn't meet their needs. So I look at that and I go, wow, I'm a fucking failure, I guess, in that aspect. Like, what do I need to do to fucking get better? Get stronger, make more money. I don't know. Be a better provider. I think about that now that I'm older. Like, I think about that more and more and more. But it's not about crawling into a hole and just crying yourself to sleep. It's more about, fuck, I gotta fix some shit in my life, you know give it a year or two and of like fixing my life to or getting my life to a new place and just keep trying to climb that fucking ladder to get to a place where I can be a real fucking provider, be a real fucking man. Not that I don't see myself as a man, but it's just like there's just something about reaching a certain level where women truly respect you, where women like really want to be with you because they see you as a provider, and it depends on the woman. Some women don't want that. Some women just want to have their freedom and just fuck around and then see you later. And I think that's been my biggest issue is I keep falling for women that just want to have fun. They don't want to build anything real. They don't want to build anything together, and I hate that. I hate that there's like nobody I met was serious about building something together. It's really just it's frustrating. Like where are all the smart women? Where are all the like women that want to commit to something, that have the discipline that actually like don't want to just have fun. Like they want to actually grow and evolve with somebody. Where the fuck are they? Like, it's so disappointing too. I meet older women. I see older women, they act like children, and you're just like, God, like, is this really what we have to deal with? Like, God, like, it's just so disappointing. Women are supposed to be more mature than us, and it turns out it's like they grow up to be fucking really immature, like really alcoholic and really immature, drinking their wine and just sipping it. And it's like, God, like, can you just grow up, man? Like, seriously, like, as men, we're getting older and we're just not liking what we see out of women. You're just such assholes. Like, really, you're just fucking assholes at the end of the day. The way you treat men, the way you take advantage of them, they're nice to you. They pour their cup into your cup, and then you don't return anything. You just fucking straight up disappear and leave. That's fucked up, okay? That's fucking fucked up, And I've had my fair share of it, And I'm not mad. I'm not. I'm just being real. At least from my experience, I'm just being real, I'm being real about it. But I'm not. I haven't given up, you know. It's just another experience for the books, And I haven't given up. I've never been a quitter. I never have. So I got that going on for me. So like no matter what obstacles I face, no matter how many times people want to hurt me and girls want to break my heart, it's just I've gotten to a point where it's like, all right, goodbye, next. You know, it takes time though. It takes time to build a friendship. It takes time to like know somebody. You can't force these things, and there's a lot of times where it's just there's just nothing. There's just no friendship. There's nothing. It's just like me working my ass off, and there's just no available women. There's no available anyone to date. They're either taken or they lie about it, and because they prefer to be single and not bothered. So it's just like, man, it's crazy how deceiving women can be. It is fucking crazy how manipulative, liars, deceiving they are. It blows my mind how fucking shitty they treat men. It's just horrible how they treat men. And we're out here trying to be serious, trying to build something, and they just fucking take big shits on us. Like, they just do not give a shit. They don't give a shit about being cordial anymore. They don't give a shit about being fucking fair. They don't care about, they just I don't know, they're less like they're less human. They're just more like it's just sad what's happening to women. I don't know if it's just social media. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it's just fucking destroying society, man. Like I look at women, they're so narcissistic. They're insanely narcissistic. They're an insanely what do you call it? Surface level, It's just it's like I don't know, man. It's just disappointing. It's just disappointing, man. It really is. And the way they crave money these days, man, it's so sad how they crave money. They would trade love for money in a snap of a finger, easily. Easily they would trade love for money. And that's where we are as society. And I think it's getting worse. I think it's getting worse, like year to year to year, generation to generation. I think it's getting worse because I've seen it. I see it with my own eyes, and I've seen it. And there's like people that have been together for like 10 years, and they just completely split up. They give up on each other. It's so sad to see. Like people have been best friends forever, and they just give up on each other. They move on from each other. Like my parents are a great example. They've been married for 45 years and they're still together. It's amazing to see that they're like still together, and they still like they fight for each other. They're truly loyal to each other. I think loyalty is missing with women. They don't have any loyalty but to themselves. Again, that's just my experience. If you're lucky and you find like a good one, whew, good for you. Good for you if you find a good one. We got here. Maynard Dancing says, Universe knew not to make me a woman because I'd make so much money off my body. You're funny. Yeah, yeah. Money, 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 fucking money. It's getting to a point where that's all people care about is money. Don't get me wrong, you gotta have money, but it's just, I don't know. I'm just tired of that being the center of attention. I'm just tired of it. I'm just really tired of it. But we're not quitters here. I ain't a fucking quitter. If it's money, the thing is the money, then the money we're gonna get. We're gonna fucking get it. So, you gotta be tough. You gotta be tough. You can't be a fucking pushover. You gotta be tough. There's no quitting. There's no going back. There's no falling into a hole and getting depressed about it. No, you keep moving forward. Even if it's just a little inch a day, an inch in a month, an inch in half a year, you keep moving forward. You make progress. Because otherwise, life's just going to be very disappointing if you lay down and you give up and you let time go by and you waste that time. Time is precious. Time is insanely precious. It's a gift we get every single day, and we waste it. We waste it. We do. We don't take advantage of it, and we need to take more advantage of the time we're given. We need to be more productive with the time we're given. I'm just speaking a lot for myself. And there's some of us who are great examples. There's some of us who are great mentors. It's sometimes hard to find those people, but having mentors, having a guide to actually get you through to a point where you're succeeding, that is so important. It's almost more important than school. School will get you this far, but if you actually have a mentor, you actually have a guide, you actually have people who can actually really guide you through life and can help you set you up, that's so important. It's important to have friends like that. It's important to have, older people that have done it and can guide you along. But Billy Boy says, yeah, I really agree. I feel I'm wasting a lot of time. And it's tough. Time is tough because, the things we pour into, if it doesn't add up, it's like you've wasted so much time. But a lot of ways, it's like they say, failures are your lessons in life. And if you don't actually learn your lesson, you're bound to repeat the same mistakes and waste time, waste like precious opportunities to actually get somewhere. And we're not getting any younger. We get older as time gets on going, and it gets harder when you're older. It gets harder and harder and harder, more complicated. Time feels like it's shorter. It feels like time is speeding up. It feels like you have less energy than you did before to do the things that you could do while you were young. There's so many things you can do while you're young that you can't do when you're older. It doesn't match up. You're killing yourself more to get the things done that you could get done easily in your 20s, you know? And I'm telling you from experience, as I get closer to being 40, I can tell you there's things I kind of wish I would have done differently when I was 20. Um, but at the same time, not really, because I'm proud of the stuff I did. I'm proud of the stuff I did. I'm proud of all the projects I accomplished. I'm proud of everything I worked on. Tons of film projects. I mean, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's true. There's nothing more important than family. Nothing more important than family. And it's just I'm probably going to end up alone. I'm probably going to die alone. I'm probably going to end up alone. I'm not going to have any kids. If I haven't had a kid by now, I probably won't have a kid, and so it's just something I've accepted. It's just something I've accepted. And instead of like, and the thing is, I don't even embrace that bachelor life. I don't even go out and like sleep with women and just rotate. I actually want to find a wife. I actually want to find somebody that I can build a life with. And the thing is, I'm already 40. I've already missed out 20 years of building a life with somebody. But that's okay because I've been building a life by myself, and that's fine too. But like, I'm not trying to be a lifelong bachelor. I'm not looking into that. I'm not interested in that. Like, I seriously always wanted to find that special somebody that I can grow with, and it just never worked out. I never understood it. I never I looking back, I maybe see some shortcomings that I had, but I don't think that was enough to just throw me away. I just think people really give up. I think women give up too soon. They move on too soon. And then they go on from guy to guy to guy to guy, and then they end up alone. So, and they may have kids. They may have a kid with that guy, and they may have a kid with that other guy. They at least have kids, but better than no kids, I guess. But at the same time, having a broken family, you know, I would almost prefer to have no family than a broken family. You know, I guess I don't know. Maybe not. Even if I had a broken family, at least I would have kids. But I'm just not that guy. I never was that guy. So in a way, I kind of became that guy because I've had so many failures with relationships. I just went from girl to girl to girl, but not on purpose. It was because they would leave me, and I had no choice than to move on and look for somebody else. And the same process would repeat itself. It doesn't work out, they move on. They find somebody else, they move on. They don't like whatever, they move on. They prefer their freedom versus being tied down, they move on. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. It's not complicated. It's just they don't want to be tied down. They don't want to be tied down. And the thing is, I don't look at it that way. I don't look at it as like you're losing your freedom, like you're being tied down. I look at it as you're partnering up with somebody who's going to be loyal to you, and you're going to spend energy together building something, together. That's not being tied down. That just seems like the normal thing to do. You find somebody, you build something, you spend your life with somebody building something of value. You build a family, you know, but I don't know. I don't know. It didn't work out for me. Like looking back, it's just kind of like I see the shortcomings, I see the mistakes, but like I said, at the same time, I think people just quit too soon. And I was never the one to end the relationship. I was always the one like who was like, come on, like give it a chance, like but it was always there was always someone else. I just feel like maybe society's too convoluted. There's always another guy. There's a better guy or whatever. There's just always somebody else around the corner ready to steal your woman. And maybe that's my weakness. Maybe that's my weakness that I don't know how to keep a girl, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. There's always going to be somebody with more money. There's always going to be somebody who's got the better job. There's always going to be somebody who's a little bit more handsome, a little bit more taller, a little bit more of a got more personality. There's always going to be someone else that has something a little bit more extra than you. And I'm probably have a little bit extra more than the guy next to me, like down the line. I'm probably, I'm not like the worst of it for sure, but there's always somebody who's a little bit better looking. There's always somebody, like I said, who's got more money or who's got this or that to impress the girls. And it's just like, I was never really about that. I was never about impressing and just like, flaunting and just like, acting cool or acting like I don't care and this and that. Like, I'm a very genuine guy. Like, I will give you love. I'm a very nice guy. I'm not a pushover. I have my boundaries. I have what I like. I know what I want, and, I'm not going to like beg. I'm not going to chase. But I can't seem to find the girl that aligns with the things that I want out of life. It just seems like an impossible task. And I always see people, and they're not that different than me, and they have the girl, they have the kids, and it's just like, man, like how, like, I guess God favors you. I guess God has a favor for you to you met your soulmate, and I'm sure it's not easy, but I'm sure it's nice that you actually have a wife. I'm sure it's really nice that you have kids. I'm sure it's not easy, but I bet it's really nice. And I'm sure they might say the same thing about me. I'm sure they're over there saying, "Oh, I bet it's nice that you're single. I bet it's really nice you don't have kids and you're, having to feed mouths and be responsible for this kind of thing." But it's like it's funny, right? We always think the grass is greener on the other side. But I bet you a guy who's married with kids is probably being like looking at me and going, "Oh, you're so lucky you're single." I bet you anything they're thinking that. And I'm over here single and thinking, "Oh man, you're so lucky you're married and have kids. Like you're so lucky." It's just funny how that works out. Billy Boy says, "I was born in New Zealand but currently in America. But I have an Aussie accent because I grew up in Australia." Dude, that's fucking kick ass. Billy Boy says, "Yeah, I feel that too. I see guys that don't look much different from me with girlfriends or wives and some with kids. Yeah, it's a very strange thing." Krishna says, "My dream is a house in a peaceful place in New Zealand or America." New Zealand, I bet it was badass. Man, I, I'm at the point where I bet I just have to leave the United States to find a girl. I bet the girl I'm looking for probably doesn't even live here because every time I travel out of the States, they don't have that American mentality that just, I don't know, that just doesn't seem to work with me. I always find like international women or like women that don't have that like brainwashed thing going on with politics and like they're just, you know what I'm saying? I think the politics really brainwashes them and really ruins them. That's just my opinion as a man. I'm sure they love their politics and their view on life and how free they are and how liberal they are. Congratulations. But at the same time, it's like, well, you're single and you're going to be turning 40 soon as well, and you don't have kids and you didn't make a family. So, what does that say about you? You missed your chance to be with a guy like me completely. And they might say, "Oh, well, I wouldn't spend my life with you." Well, you don't know me, okay? I'm a really good guy. I'm really loyal, and I have a lot of love to give. I'm a very loving person. Every girl that I've dated has said something to that I'm like just a really genuine guy, but it's like just something isn't just right for them. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Billy Boy says, I did some socializing at a Halloween party November 1st at a dance nightclub. It had been months before then that I last went. So yeah, I did a little socialing tonight at a party, but like I said, I ended up running into a good friend of mine, and he's got a girlfriend. So I was a bit of a third wheel. But I can be funny, I'm very sociable. It's just that, like I said, I kind of had a girl for a minute, and we were romantic, but her thing is like, which I find a lot of women, they like situationships. They like that kind of thing where they can go from one guy to the next, to the next, to the next. They're serial daters, and they call them friends, but obviously we're doing romantic stuff. So in a lot of ways, we should be more than friends at that point. But it's like just some women, they cannot get over the whole situationship thing. That's like all they can handle. That's all they want to do. And if you bring up for just 2 seconds that you want to be more serious than just a situationship, they will cut you out of your life. They will ghost you. They don't give a shit if they break your heart. They don't give a shit if they hurt you. They will ghost you in 2 fucking seconds after you bring up, hey, can we think about taking this next level? Boom, you're dead. You're done. You're done. You're done as a guy. They're ready to move on to the next guy who is just there for the meantime until they want to get serious, cut them out of their life, and move on to the next guy who can they just have fun with no actual commitment, no actual responsibility of like actually caring for another human being. I guess because it's too much work for them. I don't fucking know. Which really it isn't. It's not. When you have a team player, when you have a teammate, things actually become easier. You know. But I don't know. I don't know. Krishna says, "Sorry for this time. I gotta go. Sorry. Bye, brother. Bye to everyone and love you. Love you, Krishna. You take it easy. You're one of the good ones. You're one of my favorites on YouTube. I'll talk to you soon. I don't know why I'm talking about this stuff. Like I said, I don't plan to talk about stuff like this. It just comes out. I just start thinking about one thing and one conversation, another thought leads to another thought. You know, I'm not bitter. I don't hate women. I don't hold it against them that they're not ready. I don't hold it against them that potentially when they were young something fucked up happened and now their trauma keeps them from like actually obtaining full love. Okay, well, there's nothing I can do about that. That's on them, for them to change, for them to evolve, for them to grow up, for them to mature out of that stuff, to work on their dark sides. I can't force somebody to be like, all right, you're ready, you're ready. Hey, if they're messed up, they're messed up. If they, hide things from you, that's on them. I find that a lot of women have had secrets. They hide secrets. They lie to you, and they use you, and it's like when is this game gonna ever end? It's just a non-ending game with women. They want to test you. They want to fuck with you to see how you react instead of just being cordial and nice and not having to play these stupid games, not having to test you, not having to do anything, and it's just like, and I'm older now. I can tell when a woman's trying to test me. I can tell when they're trying to poke at me. I can tell when they're just straight up using me. I'm no longer a fool. I know I'm no longer an idiot. And so I get to a point where I'm just like, okay, I'll pop the question. I'll say like, do you want to take this to the next level? They say no, or they come up with an excuse. Well, then it's fucking obvious, right? It's fucking obvious they just want to use me, for the time being. They don't want to build anything serious, and and at that point, it's like, okay, great. You've been using me because you enjoy the love you get from me. You enjoy the things I do for you, but in return, you are not going to commit. So what's the point? What's the point of keeping doing, like, we keep doing this? What's the point if it's not going to add up to anything, you know, where it grows? So at that point, it's just like, all right, goodbye. Like, I'm not going to waste my time anymore with you because you can't handle it. It's not that I can't handle it. You can't handle it. You're not good enough. So goodbye, And if you don't want to step up, if you don't want to step to the plate, then I'll find somebody who will step up to the plate. But it's just been like girl after girl after girl. They don't want to step up. They don't want to commit. They don't want to do that. It's just like it's a very modern thing to be in a situationship and go from guy to guy to guy to guy. And I really hate that because it's not old fashioned. It's just the right thing to do. They have this mentality, oh, it's old fashioned. No, it's not old fashioned. It's just the right thing to do. It's the natural thing to do. It's the human thing to do. It's like the most important thing you can do in life is to produce a family and grow as a family. It's like the most important thing you can do in your whole life. Nothing will ever come close to that, you know? And they just fucking throw it away because they just don't have the the womanness. They're not woman enough to take on that challenge to really hone in and just be selective and select the guy and commit to the guy. They don't have the womanness. They're just girls. They're just little girls in 30-year-old bodies. They're women who want to still be girls, little girls, and have out and live out their little girlish lifestyles because maybe it wasn't enough. Maybe their teenage years wasn't good enough or whatever. Like they didn't get to fulfill anything that they necessarily wanted to fulfill, or they don't want to grow up. They don't want to quit smoking. They don't want to quit drinking. They don't want to quit partying. And it's like, dear God, like just you're the ones who are supposed to be more mature, right? Like you mature faster than guys, and you fucking as adults act like fucking little girls. Like, give me a break. Like, don't ever talk about being more mature because it's not true. It's not true anymore. At least for some. I'm not saying all. I'm not saying all. And from my experience, I'm sure it's different for every guy. Every guy is going to have a different experience. They have a different way of being. Some guys don't care about going girl to girl to girl to girl. And I care about that. I'm not trying to give out my body to every fucking girl I come across. Like I'm not just trying to hand out myself like fucking candy to be used. Some guys don't care. Some guys wish they could go girl to girl to girl to girl. And I could do that if I wanted to, but I don't want that. I never wanted that. Never have I ever wanted that. It's just that's just how it worked out because a relationship starts and it ends, it doesn't work out, so I move on. And then that doesn't work out, so I move on. That doesn't work out, so I move on. At some point, there's got to be a gal out there, a woman that I meet, who actually doesn't want to move on, who actually would love to stay with me, who actually would love to grow something with me and build something with me and actually be a family. But it just seems like less and less. Like some women, they get taken up, they get taken up with a guy who's got it all, and they go first, and then you're left with seconds, and then thirds, and fourths, and fifths, if it doesn't work out. So that's just, I guess that's just life, that's just life. You're either top, or you're at level B, or at level C, or level D, and I'm not top, but I'm pretty fucking decent. Like I would give myself like a level B, maybe a B minus. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a B minus. Like I'm not top dog, but I'm like pretty good. Um, but still, I guess that's just life. The alphas get it all. Then you have underneath, some people get some. Underneath that, you might get a bone, and then underneath that, you have scum. And it gets worse and worse and worse like the further down you go. You have people with no fucking moral values. You have people that just are just disgusting. They have illnesses, sexual transmitted diseases because they didn't protect their body, didn't protect their soul. They just didn't have a moral fiber in them. So it's just very promiscuous women. They can't control themselves. They just don't know how to control themselves. They don't know how to behave. And that's that. They've made their choices in life, and now they get to reap the repercussions of living that sort of life. And that means the more women that do that, the more men that are going to be like me who don't have a woman because they're just not out there. They've wasted their years, and now nobody wants them. I still have a chance. The thing with men that's different with women, older men can still get younger girls. Like, I can still date a 20-year-old. I can still date a 25-year-old. I can still date, a 30-year-old. The older I get, it's almost like the better. But for women, the older they get, it's going to be worse and worse and worse. And I think a lot of women don't see it that way. They just think that they're hot shit, and the older they get. No, the older you get, the less men are interested in you. And that's just a fact. You start losing your beauty, you start losing, your ability to produce, you start losing that, men are not going to be interested. They're just not. You might find some men that are willing to sleep with you and then that's it, and use you and then leave you like in an instant, you know? But I'm going to have to start like actually looking at a younger pool now because everybody who's at my age are either taken or they're just undateable, you know? And so, because they have kids, they have kids, they have baby daddies, whatever. They have more than one. They have problems with exes and crazy boyfriends. They have problems with lawyers and court and bullshit like that. It's like, like like no guy wants to date a girl with so many fucking issues. Like what the fuck did you do with your life? Like forget about it. If you're that horrible, this is how you deal with life. This is what you produced. Like, who the fuck wants to date you? Fucking nobody. Like, the closest you'll find is somebody who wants to date you is just some douchebag that wants to sleep with you and move on to the next girl. Like, as soon as he's done using you. So I'm gonna have to start. Like, I'm forced. I'm forced to look at younger women. It's not my fucking fault. Like, the pool is dead. Like, I'm not saying like a pedophile. I'm just saying like younger women, like actual women that are just younger. So I'm gonna have to start looking at the 25-year-olds. I'm gonna have to start dating 28-year-olds because I don't have a choice. Like my pool is gone. My pool of women are gone, or just have so much baggage, so much problems that like I'm not asking for those problems. I'm not asking you to bring those problems on me. That's your fucking problem. And like don't expect me to pay for your shit, your problems that you created yourself that I wasn't even a part of. Why the fuck would I date somebody so you can fucking use my money for bullshit that I have nothing to do with? It's just fucking stupid. Like no guy would ever do that. No serious guy would fucking do that. So yeah, I gotta be mature about it. I just gotta be like, all right, on to the next. Hopefully there's somebody out there still in their fucking, 30s, at like 30, 31, 32, that's dateable, maybe even 28, maybe 27, 26. Like I have to start looking at younger women because fucking women my age they're gone. That's it. There's no more left in the fucking pool. Billy Boy says in their 20s, it's the opposite. Women have a big advantage. Oh, absolutely. They're like the prize. So, and I hear it all the time. I mean, I've been left. Women that I've dated, like my age, even a bit younger, they've left me for older guys. And I'm like getting to that point where like I'm older, I'm more mature, I'm being a lot more responsible with my life. I'm like maybe that's just how it goes. Like I guess I'm at a point in my life where I have to start dating younger. Like it was never my intention, but like I kind of have to. I don't have a choice. I'm going to have to steal from the guys that are there in that same age. I'm going to be the guy coming in and stealing their women essentially because I don't have a choice. And maybe that's what's been going on. That's just like the cycle of life. Older guys get the younger women, and the young guys don't get that young woman, and then once they get older they get the younger woman. Like it just seems like that's the logical progression of things. So at least I have hope for that. At least I have hope that as an older guy, I'm definitely more attractive. I definitely have a lot going on for myself, and so it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to like look at a younger pool. It's not my damn fault. Every fucking woman my age didn't want to end up with me. So it's not my fault. I got pushed into dating younger women because I don't have a fucking choice. Anyways. Billy Boy, I salute you. I don't know if you subscribe to my channel, but if you have, if you do, I appreciate it. I'm trying to build my channel up to 1,000. I'm very close, very close. Yeah, that pool. Billy Boy says the pool gets smaller and more baggage as you get older. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, is that a good night from you, Billy Boy? Us men gotta stick together. Those girls always say the same thing. Us girls gotta stick together. Well, us fucking men have to stick together like fucking warriors and just fucking take over. You know, we're gonna have to take over the younger pool. All right, yeah, I guess we'll call it a good night. This is a good place to end it. And I'm gonna do a movie review tomorrow evening. I'm gonna do one over the 28 years, that zombie movie. So I'm gonna do a little movie review and kind of go over the plot and characters for that movie tomorrow evening. Good night, good sir. It was good conversing with you tonight, and everybody, Christian. All right. See you on the flip. See you on the flippity flip. Get out of here and go to bed. Get my 8 hours of sleep.